The story begins in New York City, which has become completely desolate. There was a time when the city was known for its dazzling lights, but today it is immersed in an eerie silence. Abandoned vehicles lie scattered everywhere, buildings stand deserted, and there isn't a single human being in sight for miles. The question arises, have all the city's inhabitants perished, or is there something dangerous lurking here? Something so terrifying that no one dares to step outside. Just then, we see a red car speeding through the heart of the city. The film's protagonist, Robert, is behind the wheel, with his dog Sam in the passenger seat. They are out hunting when they spot a herd of deer. Robert immediately pursues them in his car and opens fire, but not a single shot hits its mark. He is forced to stop a short distance later because the road ahead is blocked by abandoned vehicles, and the deer sees this opportunity to escape. However, Robert spots another deer nearby. He stealthily approaches it from behind, getting within close range, and is just about to take the shot with his sniper rifle when a lion suddenly attacks the deer. Robert could have snatched the deer from the lion at gunpoint, but just then, a female lion appeared with her cub. Seeing this reminded Robert of his own family, so he decided not to shoot the lion. Meanwhile, the alarm on his watch went off, prompting him to look up at the sky. He saw that the sun was setting, meaning darkness would soon fall, and the fear of that darkness became clearly visible on his face. It was as if he knew that something extremely dangerous emerged in the darkness of the night. Robert quickly got into his car with his dog and headed home. Upon arrival, the first thing he did was sprinkle bleach outside his doorway so that the dangerous creature couldn't track his scent to the house. Before darkness fully set in, he quickly shut all the windows and doors and turned off every light, plunging the entire house into darkness. He then lay down quietly in the bathtub with his dog, making no sound, when suddenly, strange and terrifying noises began to drift in from outside. Hearing them, Robert covered his mouth in fear. What exactly was the thing that terrified him so much, and why had the entire city outside become a wasteland? The truth is, once night fell, the outside world was no longer fit for human habitation, as dangerous zombies swarmed the city, killing any human they spotted on sight. These zombies had first appeared 3 years ago. Humans developed a virus intended to treat cancer. However, it failed to cure the disease. Instead, the virus infected people, turning them into zombies. It spread so rapidly that, within just a few months, it had infected 90% of the world's population. Those infected came to be known as Dark Seekers. Now, only a handful of survivors, like Robert, are living in hiding. The infected are called Dark Seekers because these Dark Seekers emerge only at night. If they were to come out during the day, their highly sensitive skin would burn in the sunlight. Consequently, they venture out after dark to hunt for humans. They also possess an incredibly keen sense of smell. That is why Robert sprinkles bleach near his doorway every day. The next morning upon waking up, Robert's first routine is to exercise. Afterward, he heads to the laboratory in his basement, where we learn that he is a scientist conducting experiments on numerous caged rats. 3 years prior, Robert had lost his wife and daughter to a spreading virus. Following their deaths, his life has had but one purpose: to find a cure for those infected by the virus, transforming the Dark Seekers back into normal human beings. To this end, he has tested various antidotes on the rats, though he has yet to successfully create a perfect one. Today, when he checks on the infected rats he had treated, he is deeply disheartened. The medication had proven ineffective, and the rats remained as aggressive as ever. However, he is astonished when his gaze falls upon the rat in the final cage, for it is completely different from the others, and calm. This meant the rat was recovering and the medicine was working. Seeing this, Robert felt happy and hopeful. He noted down the details of the medicine he had administered. After months of hard work, he had finally perfected the formula. However, he now needed to test it on a zombie, which meant capturing a live one, a very difficult task. Afterward, following his daily routine, Robert left the house with Sam, drove to a nearby store, and parked. He had placed a mannequin dressed as a security guard by the entrance. He would greet it with a good morning before stepping inside. He had set up several other mannequins throughout the shop as well, and he would converse with them as if they were real people. In fact, having lived alone in the city for 3 years, he talked to these figures to stave off loneliness. After gathering necessary supplies, Robert drove with his dog to a seaport. We learned that he visited this spot every afternoon to broadcast a radio announcement. "My name is Robert, and I am a survivor in New York City. If anyone else is alive out there, I can provide food, shelter, and safety. If you can hear me and need help, I will be here at the seaport every afternoon." Robert broadcasts this announcement on the radio because he hopes that someday someone will hear his voice and come to find him. Afterward, Robert plays golf while standing atop one of the many black jets stored on a large ship. Meanwhile, Sam, Robert's dog, watches his shots. Suddenly, Sam looks off in another direction, as if he has spotted something strange. Noticing this, Robert looks that way through his gun's scope and sees a deer. Robert has grown tired of eating only vegetables every day, so he and Sam set off to pursue the deer. However, just as they get close, the deer spots them and immediately bolts. They give chase, but the deer runs into a building shrouded in pitch darkness. Sam follows the deer inside. Robert becomes worried, knowing that dark seekers could be lurking in such dark places during the day. Nevertheless, terrified and reluctant, he enters the building to retrieve Sam. It is completely dark inside, so Robert switches on the flashlight attached to his rifle and begins searching for Sam. He begins to hear some very strange noises. However, Robert somehow summons the courage to start looking for Sam. After moving a short distance ahead, he sees the snout of a dead animal. This disheartens Robert, as he fears Sam has been killed. But as he moves a little further, he realizes it isn't Sam, but the deer they had been tracking. Robert resumes his search for Sam, and the moment he shines his flashlight ahead, the sight before him makes his breath catch in his throat. A multitude of dark seekers are standing there, facing the wall. Seeing this, Robert quickly covers the rifle's light with his hand to turn it off. Luckily, the dark seekers fail to spot him, and his life is spared. Robert then quietly retreats into another room, where he spots Sam underneath a table. He approaches Sam and tells him, "Come on, we need to get out of here fast, or else we'll both be killed." But Sam is too terrified to move. He keeps stepping backward while looking away.